Ooga booga, ooga booga.
Am I the a-hole? Hello, boogies. Welcome back. This is Am I the A-hole? What people do is they go to the subreddit Am I the A-hole and they type out their story. They let us know what's going on. And then we, the audience, come in and we judge. Are you the a-hole or is someone else in the story the a-hole? I've made a number of these and I had to take a little bit of a break. It just got a little stale because I kept being right about every opinion that I had. It's like, oh, Dylan's right again. Oh, great. So I'm thinking of working in a couple wrong opinions. Make you guys feel better. When you guys get it wrong, then you'll be like, oh, Dylan can get it wrong as well. You know what I mean? Am I the a-hole for kidnapping my baby? Causing my husband to have a panic attack? Juicy, right out the gate. She is 29 and she recently started working again after having a daughter who's 4 months old. Daycare is too expensive, so my husband, who's 35, reluctantly agreed to stay home. It's important to know that he's been unemployed since 2021. Why is he reluctant to stay home? That's all he does. Like, where do you gotta be, my guy? It's also important to know that he's extremely lazy. When you just outright say like, hey, my partner, lazy as hell, you know things are probably a little rocky, right? He doesn't cook, clean, or help out in any way. What do you do then? What? How do you spend your days? I was nervous about leaving her home with her father, but I had no choice. That's insane. How do you have a kid with somebody, but then also simultaneously be concerned about leaving your child with your partner, who's in their 30s? When I came back from work, she was clean and sleeping. The next time I came home, he was either playing with her, feeding her, or out for a walk with her. A few days ago, my neighbor told me that as soon as I leave, the baby cries and cries for hours. My neighbor said that she knocked on our door, and he finally answered it. He was sleeping. So the husband was at home sleeping with the crying baby in the background. I concluded that he sleeps all day. Right before I come home, he pretends to care for her. I decided, oh, so he's manipulative. Interesting. He's got a nice little scheme going. I decided to take the day off work. I left home at a regular time, waited 30 minutes, and then went home. Sure enough, he was knocked out sleeping with his stupid noise-canceling headphones on. I went to my daughter's room, scooped her up, and took her to my friend's house. Waited 2 hours, and I finally called him to tell him that I was coming home early. He called me back saying that he can't find the baby. Wild to have noise-canceling headphones on with a newborn baby and no one else home. He told me that he was going to call the police, but before he did, I told him what I did. He called me an a-hole and a lot of other words too. Family members are telling me that I'm a terrible person. I know that it was extreme, but I don't know if I would consider myself to be an a-hole. The update, basically, she told everybody and they took her side, apart from the ex-husband, and the mother-in-law, who think that she's a jerk. My ex-husband has not asked to see my daughter for the past week. Online, he's saying how I ruined his youth by trapping him with a baby. Homie, you are 35. Your youth is long gone. Well, it's not long gone. Oh. I don't want to... Listen, if you were 19 and having a child, it's like, okay, I understand. You're losing some of your youth. But when you're 30... your life's half over, my guy, all right? Yeah, you're not losing any more youth, I promise. I took her to the hospital and they found signs of neglect. I explained the situation. The doctor advised me to press charges against my ex-husband. I think I will. So I think we can say the husband, not the a-hole. Like, the man is just trying to sleep, all right? And then also, like, babies, they be crying and whining, and it's like, just quiet down, all right? Go feed yourself. The kitchen's right there. I think we're all on the same page there. Yes? Okay, great. No, that's insane. Like, hey, when you have a baby, you can't be home alone with noise-canceling headphones on. Like, you just cannot do that. He is not an appropriate caretaker for your child, and if I were you, I'd be reconsidering the relationship completely. Yeah, he's an ex already. Don't feel guilty about reevaluating your life, okay? Your child is dependent. Your husband is independent. Are we sure? He kind of seems like he's pretty dependent. Am I the a-hole for yelling at my girlfriend to stop effing eating? So he is 26, his sister's 23, and she runs a bakery business, and she's been struggling lately to keep up with the orders. Oh, look at me, I'm so successful, people want my food. Because she's been short-staffed. What are you, putting your ingredients on high shelves? Easy fix, just move it down a shelf. That was the dumbest joke. I'm so sorry. Let me apologize for that joke. Because that was so dumb. I'm going to sit here and think about what I've done. Just give me a moment. Because she's been short-staffed. What are you, putting your ingredients on high shelves? Easy fix. Just move it down a shelf. Okay. She does a lot of orders for wedding cakes that require custard or marmalade. And I offered to help her out by making these fillings at home and bringing them to her so she has less work to do. Unfortunately, the past 4 times I've made these fillings, my girlfriend, who's 24, has literally dipped her fingers into the filling jars and contaminated them because, in her words, she just wanted to try some. I've tried explaining to her that she can't just dip her fingers in and contaminate the entire batch, because then I have to remake it. I said she should use a spoon and take some out if she wants to try so bad, but she just pouts and says that she likes using her fingers because it takes her back to her childhood. Today I was trying to finish some chocolate custard to send it over to my sister because she was running late on a wedding cake order for an important client. I told my girlfriend beforehand to not eat the custard, and if she really wanted to, please use a spoon. I get out of the shower and what do I see? She has her fingers in it again, just knuckle deep into the custard. I totally lost it because this is the 5th time. I yelled at her and told her to stop effing eating the food I'm making. She started crying and got mad at me for fat shaming her. Even though I made no comment on her weight and she has no history of weight issues or eating disorders. I know it was harsh, but she kept pushing my limits. Let me put myself into the shoes of this girlfriend. So good. I love my childhood so much. Hello, boyfriend. I won't do this again. I promise. I'm just cute girlfriend. All right, I'm there. I'm in her head. Okay. The first time you set up a boundary and you say, like, don't do this thing, I can understand checking the boundary, like, the second time, and then dipping your finger again, and it's like, hey, I said don't, so don't. And it's like, oh, okay, my bad. But to continue 5 times, you have to be told 5 times to keep your hands out of the cookie jar. I'm wondering if it's manipulation at that point. He got upset at her, and she started crying, so she can't deal with it. So now she wants to make him feel bad so that she doesn't have to feel bad. So she's like, oh, you're fat shaming me. And then he's like, oh, no, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to show you that. And she's like, oh, no, it's fine. And got it again. Not the a-hole. She's exhausting and sounds like she's trying to sabotage you helping your sister. Yeah, she's trying to sabotage? I don't think her goal is sabotage, because she's trying to do it secretly. I think she's just putting her own desires. In her head, she's like, I got clean fingers. I don't care, it's not a big deal, and I want to do it, so I'm gonna disobey and do it. Massive control, sabotage. I don't think she's sabotaged, guys. Oh, right, stop. Yeah, especially since in the last time he caught her dipping her fingers right when he got out of the shower. What a coincidence. She just happened to be dipping her fingers in right at the time when he would see her. Are you delusional? Are you, oh, Reddit is filled with psychos. If she wanted to do it in front of him, she would have just did it in front of him. Not have to, try to time it so that, oh, it's right when he's getting out of the shower. She's doing some weird power play. Oh, children. It's children that are on here. You guys watch too many TikToks. She's actually a villain mastermind. In fact, she was putting anthrax onto her fingers and dipping in the custard. Like, what are you talking about? Am I the a-hole for returning a birthday gift I got from my boyfriend after he insulted me about my colorful past? So she's 26. She dipped into my savings and got Mike, my boyfriend, who's 27, a PS5 for his birthday yesterday. Wonderful gifts. I need to let you in a little bit. We are given very minimal information with these posts, so every word and every phrase has to be carefully considered. Dipped into my savings. That makes you seem very magnanimous?
Magnanimous.
Is that the right word? Like a very generous person. To my own detriment, I'm trying to save, but I dipped into my savings. If there's a piling of yellow flags, then we could be like, okay, clearly you're trying to frame the story in a certain way. But if it's just 1 or 2, then you can just disregard it, right? But I just want to take note of that, and we'll see if it comes up again. He knew he was getting the PS5 because he told me that the PS5 is the only thing he wants. We've been together for 4 years, so the cost didn't matter. That is, until now, when I found out what he thinks of me. So some background. So when she was 18, so a decade ago almost, I was involved with Jake, a guy I met online. We ended things after 3 months, and I moved on shortly after with Adam, a guy from work. I found out a couple months later that Jake and Adam were actually really close friends, but I didn't know Jake long enough to meet his friend group, so I had no idea. After finding out, I took some time off dating, and 2 years later, I met my current boyfriend, Mike. I was upfront and honest with Mike about my past and the fact that I had unintentionally involved myself with friends. He said he understood my past didn't matter to him. Last night at his party, I showed up with the PS5, and him and his friends were screaming with joy. I screamed with joy when I got a PS2 when I was 8. Would I scream with joy if a friend of mine got a gaming console? Probably not, because I'm an adult. His best female friend, Jessica, laughed and said, I wish I was a thought, so I could afford a PS5 too. Huh? I looked at her with an excuse me look look on my face, and she said, never mind, and walked away. That bitch. I confronted my boyfriend about it, and he said, and I quote, she's just messing with you. You can't take a joke? So the boyfriend here is probably like, oh no. Oh no. He's trying to deflect. Oh, it's just a joke. Just don't think too hard about it. Just a joke. Don't jokey. Jokes are rooted in something, right? So you gotta find, like, the relating it to the root is what makes it funny. Just calling a person who's not a thought is not funny in and of itself unless they displayed thought-like behavior in the past, right? So I pushed further as to why this girl is even calling me names to begin with, and he said, well, everyone knows you were a thought before you met me. I asked him to explain how I was a thought before him, and he said, you know, messing with best friends? Thought-like behavior. He then patted me on the shoulder and said that it's okay, and if he could get over my colorful past and thought mentalities to give me a chance, then I could get over Jessica's comments and give her another chance. I didn't say anything. I just got up, took the PS5 from the gift table, and left. He was pissed. Well, it makes sense. If you're screaming with joy in your, like, mid to late 20s over a PS5, then someone taking your PS5 away from you probably does piss you off to a great degree. You took my gaming console? No. Mommy said I could play for another hour, though. I was so hurt, I took the bow off. Not the bow. And took it straight back to the store, and they refunded it. They refunded it happily. Did they happily refund it? Were they like, oh, she's back, yes. We get to put the gaming console back on the shelves. Yes. I thought that it was done, but Mike and all his friends, including Jessica, are berating me for being petty, and they're all saying I brought this on myself by making poor choices. He started screaming about how I'm the biggest a-hole and how I should be happy he ignored my colorful past. I'm thinking maybe taking it back went too far. I disagree. So you found out after 4 years. 4 years? Him and his friend group have like this inside...
You're watching Disney Channel.
...badmouth joke about you. And it's not even a joke because they think you're a thought. Simply because you dated two people who knew each other. And you didn't know that. Crazy. People are crazy. Not the a-hole, give him the keys to the curb. Also, dollars to... What? That's not a saying. Freaking Reddit sometimes, man. They're so weird. Dollars to dollar, he's cheating with Jessica. For Jessica to make that comment, she might have feelings. I don't think we can just thrust that upon Mike. It's a little unfair to be like, she made a snide comment about his girlfriend. Clearly they're hooking up. That's a little unfair. Or she's a jealous female friend who wishes she was with him. That's entirely possible. Because why else make the comment? You would just get along for the sake of your friend group. But the fact that you felt compelled to kind of like, you know, say something, you were probably trying to push her out. I can see that happening. Am I the a-hole for telling my fiance my daughter has to be in our wedding? 17 hours ago. Ooh. So this is fresh. This guy is 45 and he has a daughter named P. I hate initials. Let's give her a name. P. Priscilla. He has a daughter named Priscilla. From a previous relationship, I divorced my ex on good terms and we share 50-50 custody of Priscilla. She is now 11. After I divorced my ex-wife, I met my now fiance, S. What's a common S name? Salamander.
Slytherin!
Salamander and my daughter got along very well. After 5 years in my relationship with Salamander, I proposed. I'm thinking Salamander might not have been a good choice, but we're moving on with it. Salamander was super excited and wanted to start planning right away. She then told me she wanted her niece to be the flower girl. A flower girl? I thought, is there only one? I don't know, I don't care enough. Which I had no problem with, but I said I also wanted Priscilla to be a flower girl. Salamander looked at me funny and then said that she didn't think that Priscilla would fit the part. I'm sorry, my daughter doesn't fit the part? How about you change the role then? Huh? I got defensive dad energy all of a sudden. Are you kidding me? She don't fit the part? Let me see the casting call for this, huh? Girl who carries flowers. My daughter can't do that? I got angry and told Salamander that my daughter would be in our wedding. Salamander started to become upset and said that the girls in the wedding were up to her, and Priscilla wouldn't be one of them. I told Salamander that if Priscilla wasn't in the wedding, then there might not be a wedding. Might not? I feel like you just go all the way. Hey, it's an all-in package. Might gives you an out, but they also recognize that. You know, you gotta go full in with the threat. Priscilla knows we are getting married and told me she thinks she will look pretty in whatever dress Salamander decides she should wear. And this broke my heart, and I decided to text Salamander. Sorry, why did I name her Salamander? This is such a mistake. I told her that I would be staying at a friend's to think things over. So did I take it too far, saying that I will cancel? Am I overreacting? or just being a good dad. Thanks everyone for the comments and suggestions. I will post an update in the near future. Already, it's updated. 17 hours, we got an update. 2 hours ago. To answer a few questions, my daughter is not disabled, chubby, or having an awkward face. Salamander is 39. She is the same race as my daughter, and this is her first marriage. These are questions? I just feel like Redditors are like, Salamander seems like a bad person. Sounds like she might also be an ableist or a racist. Not everybody has to be all the bad things. Like, they could just be an asshole. Like, there was no hints. There was no hints that any of those things would be involved. Okay, weird. So I came home to talk to Salamander today. Salamander was sitting at the kitchen table and I joined her. She sat in silence, so I asked the first question. Why does Priscilla not fit the parts? And why don't you want her in the wedding at all? Her answer full-on shocked me. Okay. I'll let you know. I'll let you in. I don't think this is real. Like, only half a day goes by and you're constantly posting not only your original post, but then you're updating the post. It's like those links on the side of the screen. Those like pop-up links. Fiance doesn't want daughter in the wedding. Why? Her answer will shock you. Why are you trying to clickbait me? You don't gotta hype it up. I was shocked. Get ready for this. She quietly said, I was hoping that after the wedding, you would become a holiday visit only dad. I didn't want her to be in the wedding so she wouldn't be in the photos around the house since she wasn't going to be around much. I kept my cool, calmly took her hand, and pulled my engagement ring off. Oh, I'm sure that's exactly what you did in this very real situation that happened. Her eyes started to tear up. She said that she wouldn't end the marriage over this and that she can change. I told her that damage was already done. I told her I wanted her things moved out by next week. She stormed out and mother-in-law came knocking on the door saying that I was being unreasonable. But I stepped up for my daughter like a good father would. Our honeymoon was supposed to be in Hawaii. Looks like me and Priscilla will be going instead. I'll take my daughter who I love. I will update again if anything happens. Huge life-altering moments are happening to you and you're like, oh my god, you don't want my daughter in the wedding? What do you think, Reddit? And then you go visit and you find out your fiance's like, yeah, I'm trying to cut your daughter out of your life. And you're like, oh my god, isn't this crazy, Reddit? Look what my fiance was trying to get me to do. It's like, I don't believe you. I don't believe that you would be coming to Reddit. Maybe it's true. Either way, I think we all know who the a-hole is. It's the daughter. Why are you getting in the way of the marriage? Ooh, probably the most contentious post, and I don't think you're gonna like my opinion. And I want to hear your opinion on this one. Am I the a-hole for literally showing my dad how he behaves every day when he gets home from work? So he's 16, and his father's 46, and his father's the breadwinner, while his mom is a stay-at-home mom. So his dad is the one that goes to the bakery and buys the raffle tickets, and then the mom stays at home while he does that. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I'm sorry. I can only apologize for one joke a video. I can't. She handles everything around the house, like cooking, mopping, washing laundry. I'm the oldest and I try to help, but there's really only so much I can do while my dad just gets home at the end of the day and literally complains about everything. Like how the carpet isn't clean or how the food is cold. As a result, I have to listen to them argue daily. It's exhausting, but honestly, I think that my dad is in the wrong here. I tried talking to him to get him to see how his behavior is, but to no avail. So what I did was pick a day off for him and pretend to act like him. So it's dad's day off and he's gonna act like his dad. I put together an outfit that looked like a suit and put black tape over my lips to look like a mustache. I went inside the house, shouted, I'm home, then sat next to him in the living room and started kicking my shoes while complaining about the state of the house at the top of my lungs. He glanced at me, confused, asking what I was doing. I ignored him, then started yelling about the carpet being dirty, shower not ready. He kept staring while mom and siblings laughed. Yeesh. My youngest brother kept pointing towards me, saying, this is daddy. My dad stopped me and in a serious tone asked what I was doing. I turned to him and said, what? Can't a man effing rest after working long hours? In the most macho voice I could muster. He went quiet and avoided looking at me. I stopped the act and told him I was trying to show him what he's like every day when he comes home from work. He said nothing, just went outside and refused to speak to me. Later, he went on about how I mocked and invalidated him. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy who was like, you invalidated my feelings. You know what I mean? He's a little too, old generation to be using that term. I wonder if he said that. Mom said it was funny, but also I hurt dad's feelings, and I could have gotten the message across some other way instead. Am I the a-hole? What is your opinion? What is your opinion? I think son is an a-hole. I think he's an a-hole. Let's reverse. Let's change. Let's alter the scenario a little bit, all right? You are 19 years old, and you're at college.
Say the line, Bart.
You're getting scammed. You're in the dorms, and one day you're just sitting there doing your work, and all of a sudden, your roommate kicks the door in. They're wearing your dress. They have a wig on that matches your hair, and you're like, oh, what's going on? And then they come in, and they are just like the worst caricature of you. Like maybe you're going through a hard time, your boyfriend cheated on you, classes are difficult, you got some family stuff going on. And so your roommate comes in and you're like, oh, look at me. Oh, I need to tell you about my boyfriend who cheated on me. I'm gonna talk to you about this again and again and again and again. Oh, my family stuff is so difficult. Are you going to watch this display and go, oh, I see what you're doing. This is a great representation of me. And lesson learned. Thanks for the opportunity for growth.
Word.
No. So I just want you to feel maybe a little bit of what the dad's feeling. There isn't a single thing in here about how good the dad is. It's just he's negative, negative, negative. So the situation is kind of framing him as just like he's just this intolerable a-hole. And he might be, we don't know. But I'm sure in the dad's perspective, he's like, no, I got some redeeming features. So I think he's 16. Oh, so she's 16. Oh, it's a girl. It's a girl. My bad. I thought it was a son. So she's 16, and 16-year-olds aren't gonna make, you know, the most well-informed, brightest decisions, you know? Yeah, there probably was a better way to tackle it. You chose to tackle it this way. It was a bit of an a-hole move. If we're really digging deep into this, it's not the house stuff. He's clearly dissatisfied about something in his life. He needs someone to talk to, get to the root of it. All in all, this situation, I think it's a bit of an a-hole move to like outright mock him and just like, oh, look at me, I'm all these bad things, I'm playing you right now. Maybe in the end it'll have net effects, but also in the long haul, the father just needs to get his stuff together and stop terrorizing the household with his bad attitude. Let me know how you feel in the comment section down below. I just feel it. I feel it percolating. I feel like we're gonna have some disagreements on this. So I'm looking forward to reading what you have to say. Not the a-hole, first off, but I think you have a good chance here. Listen, please. You can acknowledge, hey, Dad, I know that probably did hurt your feelings, and I'm sorry. Of course, you work hard and provide for us, and we appreciate it, but I want you to see that your behavior hurts Mom's feelings, hurts the family. Yeah, absolutely. This is the best way to go about it. There wasn't a single, like, tone of appreciation for the father in the original post, so I'm a little bit like, I don't know that she does appreciate, and maybe he's not doing anything worthy of appreciation. We don't know. We don't have enough, you know, information on the situation. And I think that'd be a good way to get through to him. We love you. Thank you so much for all you do, but this has got to stop. Am I the a-hole for wearing a wedding dress at a wedding? Oh, what? So my friend who's a 20-year-old girl and I, 19-year-old guy, have been friends for a few years, and she recently got engaged. A week ago, I got a DM from her for a small costume party she was hosting as a celebration for her and getting engaged. I asked if there was a theme, and she said there wasn't. I'm a cosplayer, so I had a lot of choices. Okay. I didn't want to rock up in an anime cosplay, so I thought it would be funny to go to an engagement party as the corpse's bride. Depends on what kind of friends you are. Some people are gonna think that's pretty funny, and then some people are gonna be like, hey, it's my engagement party, I want to be celebrated, and the fact that you came in a wedding dress, kind of taking some of my thunder here. I arrived at her house yesterday, and everything seemed normal. After 10 minutes, my friend's fiance walked out in a black tuxedo and announced this was actually their wedding? This was actually their wedding? A costume party? Apparently my friend saw a video of someone doing this and wanted to do the same. Okay. So they're quirky. They're quirky people. They're like, hey, we don't want a traditional wedding. We want to do a costume party and then surprise everyone. We're going to do a quick wedding ceremony. It's going to be like a real wedding. He asked us all to go to the backyard for the ceremony to begin. I went straight to him. I asked him if I should quickly go home and change my outfits. He told me it was fine since I didn't know that this was the wedding. I trusted him and followed everyone outside. That seems ominous. I trusted him. I trusted you. They got married and everything seemed good. The reception was just in their house again, so everyone just walked back inside and picked up where they left off. I tried talking to my friend and celebrating with her, but she kept making excuses to not talk to me. I assumed it was just because she was tired from the big day and wanted some alone time. I got home, about half an hour passed when my phone started getting notifications. I checked, and it was my friend texting me. She was cussing me out, telling me how I ruined her wedding. Ruined your wedding? Dog, you did this shotgun-ass costume party wedding. What are you talking about, ruined? I'm sorry your wedding wasn't the wedding of your dreams, because I'm in a dress. Oh, so on your wedding night, to like be texting your friend like, why would you wear this to my wedding that you didn't know was a wedding? I can't talk too much. Like, you're 20? She's 20. You're not mature enough. Oh, you shouldn't have gotten married. On your wedding night, you're texting one of your guests that you're disappointed with them? Like, celebrate your marriage. What are you doing talking to me? She told me it was basic knowledge not to wear a wedding dress to a wedding. I reminded her I had no idea it was a wedding and that your dumbass quirky thing didn't work out. And that I asked her now husband if I should change and he said it was fine. I trusted him. She didn't respond. I got a text from her husband. He asked why I would tell her. He said it was fine. I told him. He said it was fine. Then he said how I should have changed anyway. And it's my fault that the two of them are now fighting over this. Why would you lie to your wife just to try to get out of trouble? Oh, you have no spine. You're no spine, sir. I tried texting her that I was sorry. If I had known, I wouldn't have done it. I woke up today and saw her and her husband have blocked me on everything. So, am I the a-hole for not changing out of the wedding dress when I found out it was actually a wedding? Edit, I am a guy. It was a guy in a dress. Does that change things? Probably. I cosplayed the character Emily from The Corpse Bride and had blue paint all over. I'm also Australian. It's a crazy Aussie, of course. Update. We got an update. She asked if we could call and talk about what happened, and I agreed. She apologized for blowing up at me like she did, but also told me she was still upset. I was only made aware because of the comments, and now her, that the wedding attire to anything wedding related is common sense. All I knew was the no white on the wedding day. Honestly, after people informed me, I felt awful and downright stupid. But you're quirky enough? You're quirky enough to do that shotgun costume party wedding? But you're not quirky enough to accept someone else showing up in a wedding dress. Niche quirk, my lady. I know a lot of people were telling me to cut her off, but I've known her since I was 14, so I'm glad we could stay friends. Her husband, on the other hand, he had told her that he came up to me and asked me to change. The husband suggested both of them block me so that the fight would stop. This husband is very manipulative. Oh, we're in a fight, let me just lie my way out of this. And then, like, to not get caught in the lie, just cut out an entire friend from your life so that I get out of a tiny bit of trouble. Turns out he's hated me since I met them 5 years ago. They had already been dating for a year beforehand. She's 20. They've been together since they were like 14. Oh my God. You were my first relationship and my last relationship. That's so cute. But at the same time, getting experience with a number of people is very valuable because then you learn about red flags, things you don't want to put up with, you know? And like getting the experience of like going through the breakup and being able to leave and move on. That's very good experience. He felt as though I was trying to take his girlfriends. I don't know what I did to make him feel this way. She's beautiful, but I never do that to anyone.
That's suspicious.
Why would you say that she's beautiful? Okay, I can understand why the boyfriend might be a little bit jealous. I'm not really sure what's going to happen to them in the future. She's staying at another friend's house until her and her husband are able to talk about it. I doubt I'll update anymore. Like, update, they're getting divorced because that feels insensitive. I'm sorry, you've divulged a lot of details. We got a lot of information already. Edit, my friend. Oh, so I doubt I'm gonna update this, but I'll edit this post and update you guys. Edit, my friend is doing a lot better and plans to talk to her husband soon. I've also shown her my posts since I felt like she had a right to know. What? Are you guys with me on this? Are you getting like a weird vibe from this guy a little bit? Like he might not be in the wrong, but there's like a weird vibe here. So you post her personal business online. Even, again, it's anonymous. Yeah, so like a bunch of the comments are probably like hating on the husband, and you're showing her the post under the she has the right to know. After you divulge her personal business online, she has the right to know, and she has a right to see these comments that are likely bashing her husband and praising me. Oh, it's her right. I don't trust you. I don't trust you, sir. Hoo-hoo. She's seen people talk about the red flags in her husband, but isn't sure what to do. Oh, that's convenient for you, that a bunch of people are pointing out her husband's red flags as unbiased observers. She told me that she'll decide based on what he does when they talk about it. I'll support her no matter what she decides, because I'm the good guy here. Even if he rubs me the wrong way and I have my own opinion on what she should do, it's up to her. Oh, what's your opinion, sir? I wonder what you think. She's an amazing person and I just want her to be happy. Listen, let me know. You guys gotta help me out here. Let me know what you're thinking. Found your post through a TikTok account that posts Reddit stories. No one should be covering this but me. Glad you two could stay friends though. The husband seems like an ass. Thank you so much, and yeah, blah, blah, blah. Glad I can stay friends. Comments deleted. Yeah, no, I've never thought about her in that way, and I don't think I ever will. Oh, so the comment was probably like, you're after her. And then I got downvoted by a bunch of people who were like, no, this guy is such a good guy. If he was confident that he never will think of her that way, I think he would say, I never will. But he leaves a little wiggle room. I don't think I will. Why leave the wiggle room with this beautiful girl who you get along with super well? I don't think I'll see her in a romantic way though. I hate the implication that guys and girls can't legit just be platonic friends. It's toxic and gross. You have to acknowledge it can be difficult. If it's like a straight guy and a straight girl, if one of them catches feelings, like the relationship's changed. If the girl was like, hey, I'm leaving my husband, and some time goes by, and she was like, hey, do you want to date me? I think he would say yes. But for the most part, the husband's an a-hole. This guy's not an a-hole, but I'm a little concerned. Am I the a-hole for leaving my husband at home while I spent the week at my brother's because of how he buys groceries? Does he steal them? I've been in a committed relationship with my husband. What? For 17 years. Would you be in a non-committed relationship with your husband? Things have been great. We've had a few rough patches, but what's important to note is that while he earns more than me and is considered the main provider, I have a substantial trust fund that ensures we're financially stable. Our household's income exceeds $200,000 annually, while the average in our area is below $50K. One ongoing issue we have is my husband's frugality. So her husband's like a very brittle person. His bones break really easily and probably gets a lot of joint pain. He likes to control my spending and have the final say on how he uses his earnings. It's worth mentioning that I've never used any of his income and I have no intention to do so. However, the main point of contention between us is his frequent visits to food banks. Despite having more than enough food at home, he insists on going to food banks to save money. He intentionally looks disheveled and uses our beat-up car to blend in, even though he's never experienced food scarcity. I explained to him the need for food donations in our community, even showing him social media posts from local food banks, but he remains indifferent. I suggested he volunteer or donate to gain first-hand experience, but he refuses. The unfortunate part is that since we're never short on food, most of what he brings home ends up getting thrown away. Wow. Today, I discovered our fridge filled with fresh produce and meat that clearly didn't come from our regular grocery store. When I confronted him, he admitted to going to a food bank after seeing a Facebook post about a donation of fresh food. He's like, let me get on top of that. People on social media were already asking if any was left, and there wasn't. I showed him these comments, but he brushed them off, claiming people should have gone earlier. That is, ooh. I'll talk about it. Exhausted by the situation, I packed a bag and went to stay with my brother for the weekend. My husband accused me of overreacting, being vindictive, and threatens to go back to the food bank regardless of my feelings. He threatened, oh, if you don't come back here right now, I'm gonna go back to that food bank and just grab a bunch of food. Get your ass back here. I'm gonna eat this food so good. His family is also messaging me, calling me an a-hole, and urging me to stop interfering with his choices. But his choices affect families in need. All I want is to enjoy the rest of my week without being angry at my husband. Yes, I could let this go and not scold him, but the food he takes could have gone to people who truly need it. I'm not leaving my husband's, but I need a few days away to gain some clarity. Am I wrong for wanting the space? Oh, anyone's entitled to space anytime they want it. Oh, maybe that's why you said committed before, right? So I'm not gonna leave him over this, but I just need to clear my head. So I think, anytime you're upset and you're like, hey, I need a little bit of time away, I think that's totally respectable. Before marriage, have a conversation about what your guests are gonna wear at your wedding, and if it's okay with you. You should have a conversation about money. I think that's the primary reason listed for like why couples break up or why couples get divorced is issues with money. If your husband is somebody who's like, I don't care about others in my community, I care about me and myself and making sure I live the best life possible. That's a very selfish mindset, but those people probably live really well. I don't love it. I don't have a lot of respect for it because it's like people are donating thinking that they're going to help some family in need, but instead the food just goes to, your rich neighbor who is going to throw the food away anyways in a week when he doesn't use it. Oh man, that's very difficult for me to get past. Somebody who actively takes advantage of the goodwill of those around them. What's the solution though? Not the asshole. This is completely unhinged. The way people use words sometimes really upsets me. Like, you don't have to go to like the absolute most extreme. This is completely unhinged. Completely unhinged would be him waiting at a food bank. They don't serve him because they know he has money. So he waits and then robs the people. Some rich people would do this not out of poverty or trauma mindset, but out of a wealth hoarding mindset. They see their frugality, their brittleness, as the virtue that brings them wealth and often perceive poor people as wasteful. Yeah, that's true. And therefore deserving of their poverty. Yeah, that's true. Hey, Grumplestiltskin. What a great comment. They might have summed it up better than I. Well, no. I did it the best. They did it second best though. That's a good summary. Boogies, let me know what your opinion is. in the comment section on any of these posts. Anything that like tickled your fancy. Was your fancy tickled? Tell me about it. God. My favorite part about making Am I the A-hole videos is just going through, I spend like a day just reading your comments. Agree, disagree. If you guys disagree with each other, be respectful, be kind, or just be like really mean. It's kind of fun too that way. I'm excited to see what you guys have to say, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Toodles. See ya. Bye.